We've been here in the interiors of Madhya Pradesh, the storm around the remarks made by the CBI Director Ranjit Sinha, remarks in which he used an insensitive, clumsy and some say horrifically inappropriate analogy of rape while talking about betting. Later, of course, he said that he regretted any hurt that had been inadvertently caused by those remarks.
I feel that, if we can have, lottery in the states, if we can have casinos at some of the tourist resorts, and if the government can declare schemes for the voluntary disclosure of black money, and then they can. So what's the harm if we can have, if we legalize betting? And above all, do we have the enforcement agencies? Do we have the enforcement? It is very easy to say that if you can't enforce it, it is like if you can't prevent rape, you enjoy it. So it's better to have something to legalize it and then earn some revenue rather than throwing your hands up and let things happen as it will.
A press statement has been issued. I regret any hurt caused, as the same was inadvertent and unintended. I reiterate my deep sense of regard and respect for women and commitment to gender issues.
So does Ranjit Sinha's statement of regret actually seal the lid on this controversy? A number of prominent citizens and ordinary women and men are saying no, it does not. They believe that the regret does not go far enough, and the real concern is how an officer of the law can even reflect an attitude that is sexist and anti-women. Let's go straight across to our guests now. Joining us from Bangalore tonight, Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, one of our best-known industrialists, and also joining us from Delhi today, R.K. Raghavan, former CBI Director. Kiran, let me start with you because you were exceedingly strong in your tweets. You actually believe that Mr. Ranjit Sinha had no right to continue in office because he had shown such gross insensitivity as an officer of the law. He's now expressed regret. He says he was misunderstood. He was not at all endorsing the formulation that if you can't stop rape, lie back and enjoy it. He was using an analogy. It was misplaced, but he's expressed regret for it. Is that good enough? Does it seal the lid? Or does the question mark over his essential sensitivity continue to hang over this issue?
Barkha, these days, people holding public office, and that too high public office, seem to say that, they just need to give an apology and get away with irresponsible statements. And I personally believe that, Mr. Sinha has really outraged everyone by making such an irresponsible and insensitive statement. Now, the point is, when you hold public office, you cannot make such statements, period. And I think this is what is important for all of us to recognize and understand. I mean, there is no question of using such a statement in any context. That is what I believe. You have seen, Barkha, that even in the US primaries, senators who made, irresponsible statements about rape had to actually withdraw from the race.
So what do you expect Mr. Sinha to do now, given what you're saying? And I agree with you that there is such a casual attitude in the way that we talk about rape, even after what happened in Delhi, then what happened in Mumbai. Something just doesn't seem to change at the heart of the matter. What do you expect Ranjit Sinha to do now? Kiran.
Even the apology he made, is it convincing? I mean, first and foremost, I think, if he had any sense of moral obligation, he would offer to resign. I think that's the least he can do, because I don't think someone in his place of high office should make such a statement in the first place. And if he makes such a statement, then he has to pay a price for it. I'm sorry, these days I think politicians or anyone holding high office, they need to understand their code of conduct, and I think that is extremely important.